What's going on, everybody? So today we're going to be talking about a film that will be releasing exclusively on Shudder September 1st, and this film is entitled Color Out of Space. Now, there's a lot I want to get with this film here, but let me just get over some of the preliminary stuff that's important here. Now, number one, this film did release and debut back last year at the Toronto Film Festival. So if you do look this film up, you may see 2019 attached to it because of that. But nonetheless, it has not been able to be released for general viewing purposes until now, September 1st on Shudder. So that's why you may see a little bit of discrepancy on that. You also may see reviews from earlier this year and late last year because of that. The other thing is that Nicolas Cage is in this film, and Nicolas Cage did one hell of a performance in the movie Mandy. I mean, it might have been one of his best performances in his later career that I've seen. And I like the movie, and I know there's mixed reviews about that movie, but nonetheless, like, I was high on it. Which brings me to this one, because when I seen, the trailer, when I seen the promotional posters and so on, I was like, yo, this is giving me full-blown Mandy vibes before I actually really dug into it to see who was a part of it. So you got Nicolas Cage in a role that seems familiar to something in the past. I love the advertisement for it that really drew me in. I mean, these bright colors, I will be talking about for a while for this review. It all pulled me in the way of just high intrigue. And then on top of that, Shudder has just been really knocking it out the park in their original material or exclusive material within the last few months. So I was like, okay, a lot of good here as to why I need to invest in it. Then when I actually do go break down to it, then he does, return. This film does return Nicolas Cage with the producers of Mandy. So you do got that matchmaking camaraderie back. But nonetheless, it's brought to you by H.P. Lovecraft, which, a lot of people are fans of as well. So when you have that attached to it as well, like, there's just a lot of, there's a lot of good here. But yes, it's based on that. And so good source material, good promotional, good, you got somebody within a norm that has provided success in the past. All good here. Until I watched the movie, because I gotta say, I was not feeling this one at all. I wasn't. But I'll talk about the positive. First of all, the cinematography and the color abstracts is beyond amazing. It's really good. Matter of fact, the colors are so bright and trippy, it almost needs a warning sign to it for anybody who suffers from motion sickness, vertigo, or just really sensitivity to lights and laser techniques. This could be trippy for you, because in fact this movie is really trippy with all the different things that's happening, but for me viewing it, it was beautiful, but it takes a huge strain on the eyes. I cannot tell you how many times I was messing with the clarity of my television to try and get this right, because I just need to just tone it down just a little bit. And I mean, if you're looking at this on 4K and you got the backlight all the way up, check yourself afterwards, But as far as just only the colors, what's happening in this film is so trippy. Along with it, it takes you on the ride, that's for sure. But anyway, let me tell you what it's about. So a meteorite lands in the front yard of their farm. Nathan Gardner and his family find themselves battling a mutant extraterrestrial organism as it infects their minds and bodies, transforming their quiet royal life into a living nightmare. So yes, this is based on the classic H.P. Lovecraft short story, adapted and directed by Richard Stanley. And then again, it stars Nicolas Cage here. Again, exclusive on Shudder September 1st. So here's the thing for me. It was a lot of weirdness that went on, and it was hard for me to maintain. There was characters I felt like that was just completely irrelevant. Like a guy, he was a hydrologist, and I have no clue why he was the lead investigator or brain piece for what was happening. An asteroid landed in the ground, and he's the main person. Not anybody from the town, not the sheriff. And even when it did land, I'm they're all messing with it, and they're talking about radiation, but nobody's taking precautions. Then everything's happening on their farm and no one's leaving. There's just a lot of inconsistencies that I just cannot get over. It just did not make sense. I mean, I literally was wondering for a while, what is going on? But nonetheless, with this little like weird dynamic that's going on here, because again, you got it affecting their minds and their bodies. There's good performances here. Like Nicolas Cage character, definitely, it's really well done. It's all over the place, but again, it's trippy. I can't stress enough. It's like a lot of weirdness and like what is going on that's happening. But other than that, the color and the performances was the good. But like the plot, I thought the script was flimsy. I really could not get behind this. I can't tell you how many the characters that just it wasn't. They were irrelevant. Matter of fact, even some of the dialogue in the film is just not believable. Like it's just not really strong. And yes, it's a cosmic horror film, and you know, and it has a thriller aspect. But like at times, I'm really not even in, I'm not buying into the horror itself. Like I'm more or less buying into like so what are you guys doing? Like you do see things happening. You all aren't doing anything about it. You're just kind of sticking around. Like the logic and the human element is just completely non-existent here. But visually, again, that's where I'm high at here. The visuals was on point, but everything else, it did not come together as cohesive as it should. And not to mention with something having such strong source material, you would always think that the plot and the story and the script would just be much more firm. And then there's a team that's coming back together that you would think, you know, based on the prior work, that it would just work the second time. But I guess lightning doesn't strike in the same spot more than once, unless it's this movie, because in the movie it happens a lot. Nonetheless, I digress. There's a lot of craziness that happens, but it's just really hard to follow along. I think the movie goes much longer than it needs to. Like it could have definitely shaved off another 30 minutes if a couple of characters were just not in it, and then like it was just a lot of inconsistencies here. Like I can't really go about some things without spoilers, but like this is a lot of like inconsistencies between character dynamics, character arcs, this character building, the plot. Like it just was a lot, you know what I mean? But you know, you can check it out if you have the Shudder app and you're a subscriber. Then obviously, you know, you'll get it. It comes out September 1st. Come back in the comments, let me know. But like this one was not. I wasn't feeling this one. I love Mandy, by the way, but I was not feeling this. But visually, very beautiful. Everything else, I don't know. But anyway, thank you for watching my review, and I'll catch you for the next one. Big gold bell.